So here's the X1 mirror dash cam. Just got it. So it comes packaged. You get a piece of foam on top that protects the glass, card for warranty, the manual that shows off everything. We'll be looking through that in a little bit. Here's the actual dash cam. Silver trim. Feels cold, but I think that's plastic. Yeah, it's pretty much plastic. And the mirror has a blue tint compared to like a silver tint. Some more foam packaging for the edges. There's a button on the side. Guess you got the AV in, so it's not using a mini USB for the AV that gets routed from the back of the car. Got a GPS port for the GPS, because this one is GPS enabled. The micro SD card, a reset slot, the USB, micro USB for charging. The packaging, speaker on the back, takes 5-volt 2A in to actually charge it. The grip mounts for the back of your camera in your car. Here's the actual little glass for the camera. You can do 1080p and 1296p, I think, which is a little bit above it, so it should be a little bit sharper. And the cool thing is that this camera actually slides out. So I'm guessing they did that so I guess to accommodate your mirror. It's pretty cool. Alright, put that to the side. So what else you get in the box? Car charger. Should be able to charge it and power it. So there's that. Here are the bands. You get 2 sets of bands. This one's a more stretchy band for a thicker mirror, so it'll give you more stretch if you have a really thick mirror. It'll help you get a secure fit. And they should have the normal size. So these are decently stretchy, a little tighter for a normal size mirror. So you get those. And here's the upgraded cam. This one looks thicker and it's metal. Not bad. This one should be the highest res camera they have. It's 720p. It's supposed to be really good with night. So you get the 3M adhesive, and the adapter to plug in from the back of your car to the cord that's going to run to the front, which is this one. So here's the other end of the adapter, the female end. That was the male end. And this is the AV cables. This one goes into the AV side that I just showed. It's really, really long, so I think it should be okay. I'm doing this in a 2002 Accord, which obviously should work. I'm not sure how much it would work in a larger car or how well it would work in a larger car, but this will work fine in my car. And then here's the actual GPS, because this camera has a GPS. I think, oh wait, you actually get extra 3M adhesive, which is nice. So in case you, I guess, mess up or want to reattach it to a new car, I guess you get more. I'm assuming that's what that is. A wipe and some silica gel to make sure everything's dry. Right. It's pretty much everything that comes in the box. I'm going to be installing it now. Okay, I'm here with the X1. I'm showing a quick rundown of the settings of the X1. Go back really quick. To get to the settings, you have to stop recording, hit the little icon, gear icon, settings, and there you go. You can flick through the settings or swipe through them. There's no arrows or anything to go through. Swiping is very responsive. It's not as responsive like your cell phone, and you can't do fling scrolling or anything like that, gravity scrolling. See, but it's nice. It's simple. easy to swipe through. Alright, first one's your storage space. Tells you how much space you have left on your SD card. Here I have a 32 gig. I have a gig free. It's going to start recording when it gets over to that point. Suggest when you first get your SD card to format it. That way it's set up and ready to run on the X1. And you also get, I think the DVR player gets installed automatically when you format it. That way you can install it into your computer and you're ready to go to view your files on there, on your computer. You don't need the DVR player app, but it does show you your GPS location and speed and all that. But you can also play them back with VLC player, which is what I like to use. But if you want to see your GPS and speed, you need the DVR player app. Next option is a lane detection warning system. You can have it on or off. That way, if you don't want it to be beeping at you when you're changing lanes, or you might be veering off, or if you don't think it's working that well, you can just turn it off. Speed is miles per hour or kilometers per hour. So however you would like to have it set up, or however you'd like to see your distance be read. So driving mode on or off either shows your default being the front view, or your default going to be the rear view in your actual display. So when you turn it on, it'll be either front or rear view. Date and time shows your date and time. Sorry about that. You can either have it set by GPS, which I do because it's very simple, or you turn it off and it'll be manually set. Resolution, change your resolution of the video, 1080p or 1296p. 1080p obviously is going to look a little less sharp, but you're going to save some space if you have a small memory card. 1296 is going to be a little sharper, takes up a little bit more space, so I have 1296. Loop recording is to set the video file time. So the way this camera works, it saves the video files in 1 minute increments, or 2 minute increments, or 3. So just pretty much if you want to set it up to a shorter amount of time per segment, a longer amount of time per segment before it starts rewriting. The G sensor is, say you were to get into an accident or a little fender bender or somewhere to bump into your car, it'll save that last minute, 2 minute, 3 minute file in a different section of your video player on the X1. So that way you have that activity or that instance saved no matter what, and it won't get overwritten. Low means like a lighter G sensor activity. We'll save it. High means you need a more intense activity for it to save. Off, we'll turn off complete. Volume changes the volume setting, or the volume of your bleeps and all the sound effects. Have it at medium. LCD brightness, auto or manual. Auto is like it sounds. It'll change by the ambient light to dim it or brighten it, depending on it. And I feel it works pretty well. In darkness, it brings it all the way down. Brightness brings it all the way up. Manual, you can swipe on your screen in order to change it just like that. Which works pretty well. You don't have to do anything. So you just tap on your screen, swipe wherever you want it to be. Sound record, like it is, very simple, on or off. You either want to turn it on to record sound, or off if you don't want to record sound. Language, change your languages. There's about 6, it looks like. Parking line is just how it sounds like. It's, you either turn on your parking line or you turn it off, so that way you get the parking light indicators when you're going in reverse, or you don't. Since every car is different, some people might not like it, some people like it. I have it on. GPS info, I won't show it because I don't want to show my location, but it shows your longitude, latitude, speed, a bunch of little, I guess, information about your GPS. It also gives you satellite information of all the satellites you're currently attached to, through green bars, red bars, yellow bars, the size of them, constantly changing. About DVR shows just the about information of this model and the company. And then the last one was reset setup, which just resets everything to defaults if you wanted to. So yeah, that's about it. Very simple, but you get a pretty good amount of depth into what you can do with the camera. So I want to highlight some of the features on this X1. So off the bat, when you turn it on, you get a video feed of either front or back, depending on how you have it set up, or the last thing that you selected. Right now this is the rear view feed. You get on the rear view feed, or any of the camera feeds, you get your time, the date, recording indicator if you're recording, and you get the compass showing right there, showing your heading, which is a nice feature because of the GPS. And when you tap on the actual display, you get a couple more options at your disposal. One is the lock option. This lock here pretty much gives you the ability to, when you tap on it, it'll turn yellow. Recording button turns yellow. And what that is doing is it is automatically locking this file. So say you're about to get into an incident, or you see an incident that you want to make sure is not overwritten. You tap your screen, you tap on that lock icon, and it'll automatically, it's going to keep recording, but it'll automatically start saving from that point on, and it's going to lock that file. So no matter what happens, that file is going to be saved and never overwritten, and you're able to see that whenever you want. And I'll show that a little later. Tap it again, it'll stop locking that file, or locking video files, and goes before 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute overwrites, however you have it set up. Next button is your picture button. You want to take a photo, tap, get a sound effect, and you get a front and back photo to view whenever you want. This option right here, swipe between your front and back view. Front view right there is for me, back view right there for me. You can tell the back view looks really good. I'll get more into that later. Here's the stop and record. And you have to stop in order to get into the next two options. So video playback and the settings. Settings is the video I did before, and the playback is that that option right there. So let me get into that. Here's the playback menu. It's pretty well organized. I just wish, since you have so much space, they could have used a little bit more of it. Maybe made this viewfinder a little wider, especially since you can't scrub, which I'll get into a little bit. But it looks good, it works well, and that's the most important thing, especially if you're in an accident and you want to show a police officer something. And the first option, which is what it goes into right here, you can scroll through all the files, all the video files you have. And here it gives you a number of how many you have currently, and a little thumbnail, or a big thumbnail of what that's going to be. They're all A/B files, so they have some numbers and letters, and then A or B at the end. A is the front view camera, B is the rear view camera, as you can see right here. B, A, B. A, B. And as you tap on one, here, play, it'll play through it. All I want to do is, because it's going to play back me talking, it's going to be loud, but you hit play, it'll play, and it'll show you the time as it's going by, and it looks good as you're playing it back. One thing to note is that you can't scrub through it, which kind of sucks. You can't scrub or tap through it. You just have to wait and watch it through, depending on how long your video file is. And the next one is with the little lock icon right here. As you can tell, these are the locked files. So say you were to get into an accident where it locks automatically the file, or if you were to tap the lock icon like I just did, it saves it right there. Next one is the picture section. So take a photo, like I said, front and back, and here you can view them, front and back photos. And they look not that bad. Yeah, those are the three options in any case. So all video files, locked video files from incidents, or if you're manually locking it, and your pictures. So those are all the pretty much menu options that you get when you tap on the screen. And this viewfinder is not exactly what you see in the video. This is pretty much what you want to see. And this was a little bit confusing to me, because I thought that what I saw here was pretty much what Autovox wants you to see, which I was a little disappointed, because on the front view camera, when I first installed it, it was straight. I could see myself, I could see the rear view behind me in the actual mirror, but the view of the whatever I was looking in front of me was like of the sky more, and I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. But an awesome option, or one of the features that I like to highlight, is whatever you're viewing on the screen, because of the widescreen display, and you still have an amount of video, say that's about this high, because it's 16:9 how it records. You can swipe up and down to see what exactly you want to see on your viewfinder. So you see how you can swipe. It's not very responsive, but you can change it. It's almost like you're changing the camera eye, but you're not, which is really cool. So if I want to see more further down, that's how far down the video goes, or I want to see more further up, swipe all the way to the top at the sky, which I don't know why you want to see that, but you can. And then you can just center it, point and center. Same concept with the rear, which is awesome. So you can swipe up to the very top if you want to see more of the sky in your rear view mirror or rear view video feed, or close to the floor. Obviously, if you're going to be using this as a rear view mirror video feed, FedEx truck just passed by, you want its center of your view so you can see all the cars behind you and all the cars coming up on the sides. And that's a really awesome feature. I did not know that at first. I think that's awesome because you can just change it as you need it or how you want it. I want it to be seen and on the fly. And another good option that integrates into that is their smart 2 independent feeds. So this is right now this is my rear view camera. I have it set up to see pretty much front and center of what's behind me. But say if I were to go into reverse, it'll automatically go to the lowest point so I can see more of the ground when I'm in reverse. So let me show you that. Go back to what I want to see. Center, reverse. It's automatic, really fast. You don't get any lag, and it goes to a lower point so I can see more of the ground and what's behind me. So let me show you that. Go back to park. See how it goes higher up. To be more dramatic, let me show the sky more, and then reverse. Down to the ground, instant, you get to see what's behind you when you're reversing, and you get the parking lines if you have them on. So that's really awesome. There's 2 different point of views. You never have to worry about, oh, I'm in reverse. It's going to show me the mid-eye line of what I'm looking at. No, it's always going to show the lowest point of how you have your camera set up and how it's angled, which is awesome. Next, go into the actual video options, or video feed options, pretty much. So, like I said, you get either front or rear view, depending on where you have it set up as. And you have one button down here, a single button, and this one toggles you through, I guess, different options in different ways. So if you tap it once, get into your dashboard, or they call it dashboard glass, and one more time, turns it off completely, and you get a mirror, which looks really good. And then after that, you press it again, back to your dashboard. And from then on out, it just toggles between your mirror, or the video off, and your dashboard. And to get actually back into your video feed of wherever you have set up, tap. That gets you to your video feed from anywhere. Say your mirror is off, like that, tap, video feed. Toggle between dashboard, you press the button, off, toggle, tap, video feed. So tapping gets you to video feed no matter where you are. Now let's talk about dashboard. Dashboard is, I guess my term for it. I don't know what else to call it. Maybe it is called dashboard for some reason. But this one allows you, it's pretty much it's showing black screen. This is an LCD display, not OLED. The blacks are not pure black. But since it is black, you can see behind you decently well. It works a lot better in the daytime because you have more light, so you're able to see more. But it still works well at night. At night, you can still make out cars if you look through it as you would a rearview mirror and headlights and all that. But I guess what the dashboard does, get your time as you would in the video feed, get your heading more front and center, and your video recording icon. But here you get the 2 lines that are mainly used for the lane departure warning system and your miles per hour. For miles per hour, it actually works really well. It seems to be matching what my speed is going at the time. So yeah, I feel like I don't have to worry about looking over and glancing at this and knowing that that's my speed that I'm actually going. And these lines, they're lane indicators, but they're mainly used for the lane departure warning system. So right now they're stopped because I'm stopped, but as you're moving, they kind of flicker like you're moving in a lane. And say you have your lane departure warning system and you start to veer off, or you're even changing lanes, which is it warns you at that point too sometimes. It'll highlight which way you're going, red, and it'll flash it and make a noise to alert you. Same with this side. If you're going that way, it'll flash that side and make it red. So it gives you a visual if you have the dashboard on. And the lane departure warning system, it can be hit or miss. I think it's very dependent on how clean your glass is, the amount of lights, the indicators on the road, how clear they are. And so it's all dependent, but it works well when it does work, when you have the good indications and all that. And so that's the dashboard. That's pretty much it as far as that. Let's get into the actual cameras, which are the main reason you get, I guess, a dash cam. The front view, it's good. You get a very good view in the daytime. You get a very clear view in the daytime. So yeah, in the actual display, it looks good. You can make out everything in front of you if you need to. Same with the rear. But I believe the rear view is the biggest highlight. The rear view looks incredible in the daytime, in the nighttime, sorry. At night, they say it has superior night vision, and it does. With flying colors, it does. So say if you want to use the actual mirror as a rear view display with your video feed from the rear view camera, you can do so, and I think you can see better behind you at night in some situations than you would just looking through your rear view mirror itself. So if you're in certain areas that you want to see more, you can turn it on with the rear view feed streaming, and you'll see way more behind you with good enough detail that you'll able to make out things, which is awesome. It's almost like an HDR image, like on a phone, like on a smartphone, one of the latest ones, where it picks up everything. The colors look good. The brightness is elevated enough for you to see so much behind you that you wouldn't expect to see in a camera like this, and it's 720p. But here I'm trying to show off how dark it is in front of me. And then this is behind me. You can see there's a shade, which kind of makes it look darker in that mirror, but if you look off to the corners, that's how it looks behind me right now. So what I'm trying to show and compare is how the cameras show up and how they do compared to this camera and to my eye. Because even to my eye, it's dark. Compared to what I'm about to show you, you're going to see the big difference, mainly in the rear camera. So here's the front. It does a pretty good job of showing more detail. You can see some things. This is without any light, so you can see some stuff really well. Not really well, but way better than the naked eye, or better than naked eye at least, and way better than the camera that I had, that I'm using right now. And now let's see the rear camera. This is where the X1 shines. Look at that. That is the rear view. They call it superior or super night vision, and I completely believe them, because it looks almost like an HDR live video feed behind you. So that's that. And then let me remind you again. That's behind me. It's dark. The sky is a dark gray. My phone's actually doing a pretty good job of making it a little brighter, but that's what it looks like behind me. And then again, went back to the dashboard mode. This is what the X1 shows.